But you're not like taller than me, so it's just really strange. Not really, like a little bit.
I'll take, mate. Every little helps. Every little helps in every aspect of life.
That's what I tell myself.
Welcome back to the Sunday League Effect with myself and Nicholas. After a lovely weekend of international football, we're back with some more average dissection of the Premier League.
Yeah, there's not a lot to dissect.
Do you know what I realised this week?
Games. Cool.
Our podcast last week was so undivisive.
What do you mean?
It's just gone against every other one that we've done. It was so hard to make clips.
Yeah.
To spark a debate. But I was clutching at straws because I think most of the people that watched the clips agreed with what the main point was, whereas that's not normal for us.
To be fair, I have noticed that.
But today we're going to be talking a little bit about the upcoming summer. Some big summers ahead for clubs such as Liverpool. Yep. As you're aware, like their three main players are leaving. Or potentially leaving. We'll do a little bit of an international breakdown. It was a pile of piss, but we'll do a little bit.
We won both games. 2-2.
Yeah, great. Sam Allardyce was 1-1, so what did that tell you? And also, we've got some interesting stories I saw this week.
All right.
I say there's one, and it's not that interesting really. Okay. But I'm really clutching at straws in. I wanted to bring you guys and bring you here for some average content.
You could have just invited me for a beer, mate.
Yeah, could have.
I would have come round.
Yeah, true. But then these guys wouldn't be able to see us.
This is true. They could watch us drinking beer. Just nothing but... like most of our podcasts.
Yeah. You've not got a tea today?
I haven't got a tea, no.
Fuck.
Mike let the team down.
Oh, God. Should we stop?
Mike let the tea down.
No. You're not even a dad, and that's a terrible dad joke. But, yeah. Lots to get into, so stick with us. And if you're new here and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment, share far and wide.
Ring that bell.
That one. I always forget one.
You always forget. But I mean, that's the notifications one. Like it's a little bit different.
It's also a bit shit, that one. Just saying ring the bell.
Yeah.
To be fair, the call for action is just shit in general. I hate doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's an afterthought. Because this is just a conversation. Yeah.
Then we're just throwing in, like and subscribe.
Yeah. It's everything away from what we're trying to do, and that's be natural and true to ourselves. But anyway, how are you?
I'm all right. I have begun realising that I am becoming an age of where I cannot do all the things that I'd like to do.
Like what?
Like so my game, my
climb
football,
Mount Everest.
I could still do that, I reckon. Not like right now. I'd have to train for it, but I could still do it. I will throw out like 100,000 people subscribe to us. I will climb Mount Everest, and I will go
more than that, mate, because it costs like 100 grand.
Oh yeah, true. You guys give me £100,000, I will climb Mount Everest.
In a speedo.
In a speed. You don't want to see that.
Someone will.
Someone will want to see that somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, no. I just ache. I just ache everywhere, and I just feel like last season I played Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, but I think you relied so much on your natural fitness for long because you don't do much for it.
No, I don't.
And it's just starting to catch up.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the other end of that. I have zero natural fitness.
But now you're gaining.
But I'm getting fitter, so I ache less. And I just think you need to do a little bit more, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, I probably do. I do rely a lot on the fact that I'm naturally a runner.
Yeah, well, you smoke like a chimney still as well.
No, I don't.
If you had to give up smoking or drinking, what do you reckon you could do easier?
I don't know. I'd probably be able to get...
question.
I feel like I'd be able to give up drinking easier because I don't always have beers in the house. And if I just didn't go pub or didn't go to the shop and buy some, I probably wouldn't drink.
Well, I think it's so hard for football fans in general to not drink because it's such a socially inclusive part of football.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, that's what you do, isn't it? You go Saturday morning, you wake up, it's an away game, you normally go for beers for the journey, unless you're driving, of course. Well, the one driving shouldn't be. But yeah, you're having beers, and then it becomes a whole thing. It's a whole day of you going to the football, and as we know as football fans,
I think it's
you need to drink.
Yeah, well, our level of football fandom, definitely. Yeah, we're West Ham, Watford fans, like you said.
Yeah.
So we don't get to enjoy the football very often. No. So being half cut
helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But how are you? I'm all right. I'm just old.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. As you know, I had a bit of a shit week, end of last week. But I'm all right now. football was fucking shit this weekend.
Yeah.
I've never been more glad that there wasn't football on, because we lost. My team lost.
Yeah.
So that's 3 in a row we've lost now. We've fallen to pieces. My youngest, I had to drive 45 minutes to it to play 40 minutes worth of football, 2 20-minute games, and they were useless. The under 8s, but they were fucking useless.
Fair.
But they were really bad. And again, the under 8, so sometimes they are just not very good. Sometimes they just forget how to kick a ball. But then I put that to one side, came back, so hour and a half drive for 40 minutes worth of football.
Yeah.
Managed to get back in time for my eldest's game, which was just around the corner, Fairford Lees. To be fair, the saving grace was that it was in between the massive downpours that we had on Sunday.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Got back, watched it. He was on the bench, that's fine. Came on for 20 minutes, and he's come on, it's 0-0, and he's cracking jokes with his teammates, and I was just like, this is my fucking head. And on top of that, one of the mums collared me and started talking to me non-stop. I'm not a talkative person, especially when I'm going to watch them play football. Like, I don't want to talk, I want to watch. I normally stand on my own, but she collared me. Like, in fact, one of the coaches collared me walking from the car park, so I was like, fuck. Then he walked over to the team. I couldn't just not walk with him because I didn't have the dog.
Yeah.
So then,
you could use that as an excuse to...
I'm just going to take him over there quickly, but no. So then he dropped me off with her, which she's a lovely woman, bear in mind. This isn't anything against her. I just don't like people in general.
No.
I'm not very talkative.
It's crazy to think, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we're doing a talking podcast.
And to be honest, though, this is like...
It's the environment, though. It's environmentally biased.
But I think, like, if we both made an agreement that we go to the pub and just not say a word, I think we could do that.
Easily.
The odd little, like, passing comment and things like that, but that's about it. We could sit there in absolute silence... Yep. And just drink beer. Yeah.
And watch Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah. Oh, I don't...
Whatever's on TV, because there's no Sky Sports around
here. No, that is true. It is normally something like that. EastEnders or something.
Yeah. But, so to top it off, if West Ham would have played and lost, I would have been... ruined your week. I would have been in a dark place, my friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Speaking of darkness, I was on a night shift last night, and it was so fucking long. It got to like 12 o'clock, and I had exhausted YouTube, so I had nothing to watch. Yep. I didn't know I got bored of YouTube, so I wasn't watching anything. I'm not in between shows, so there's nothing to watch. Nothing was happening. So I ended up on TikTok for like 4.5 hours. Yeah, and when you're on TikTok for 4.5 hours, you know what happens? You find depressing shit. Real depressing stuff. Like, to the point where I can't not watch it because I'm now invested.
And they always put like really good songs behind it. Yeah, you're like, it's so depressing.
So I got home at like 7 a.m. this morning. I was like, I feel like fucking shit.
It's so depressed. Yeah. How I didn't drive off the edge of the motorway, I don't know. Instagram is not normal for that.
It's basically soft porn.
Yeah, no matter what you put on, what you search for, anything you look at on, you could have, like, our Instagram for the podcast is all football.
Yeah.
All football related. But I still go on to like search for something and I'm like...
The first girls. 9 you'll see are just girls doing whatever they're about to do. And it's a scary place to be, social media. So let's jump into the first talking point. So we're going to do a little bit of like transfer rumours and club drama.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a pun title, so
it's not really
very basic today.
Yeah.
But we'll start at the obvious one, which is Liverpool's massive summer shake-up. Mm-hmm. So as you're aware, and I'm sure everyone here is aware, Liverpool are expecting a massive rebuild this summer.
Yep.
Trent is twerking for Real Madrid now.
Yeah.
Pretty much 90%.
He's gone. He's almost 2 feet out the door.
Yeah. And the Liverpool fans are obviously showing their discontent with it.
Yeah.
On that, actually, I saw something that I retweeted today, and it was the mural of Trent. And it was a caption underneath it, edited, and it said something like, "You rat."
Yeah.
Love the club until I want to go to Spain and get bummed by Jude Bellingham. Something along them lines. And it obviously read a little bit better than what I've just paraphrased it. But what I wanted to ask any Liverpool fans watching this is, do you feel the same? Do you feel like someone that's been with you since he was 8 years old, won everything apart from the Club World Cup with your club? Is he a rat for leaving for nothing at the end of his contract? Like, basically what I'm saying is, do you blame him or do you blame the club? is the resentment towards him or the people behind the scenes that have allowed it to happen. And I'll pass it on to you as well. Like, we're not fans, so we can be very impartial about
from
this.
non-biased view.
It's a very different. Liverpool's a very different club as well. Like, it is very.
It's a very different perspective for us than it is for Liverpool. But
so we're going to answer this with massive naivety and piss everyone off. But I just want to preface it with the fact that we're not Liverpool fans, so we don't understand how the club's feeling.
I just feel that if he feels his time is up at Liverpool, then his time is up. He's not going to. It's not like he's going to Spain for a big money move.
Well, it will be a factor.
Well, of course, of course. But what I mean is, he could go to Saudi. If he really wanted to go for the money, he could go to Saudi.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's people. People say but if he goes to Saudi, he has to upheave all of his family. Well, he still has to do that in Spain, but it's just in Spain. So
he's single.
Okay.
So he hasn't actually got anyone up.
Mum, dad, stuff like that. Yeah. Like, it's a case of he's moving because he wants to move to arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Or the biggest club. I think that's like one or two.
Yeah. So he's done everything with Liverpool. Why not let him have the opportunity? Why would you...
Fucking, I forgot to put the undershirt in again. Go on, carry on, sorry.
Why kick off about it? Like, you can't call him a rat for that. I just think you're just being a petty little prick. Sorry.
So I'm gonna
You're gonna flip it.
I'm gonna play on both sides because I've got an opinion for both essentially. Okay. So previously, Trent's come out and said that he wants to be the first right back in history to win the Ballon d'Or.
Okay. The
best placed club to be at to position yourself to do that is in fact Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The caveat to that is he better than Marcelo? No. Marcelo, whatever you want to say, I don't think he is.
No.
So I don't actually think he'll get the Ballon d'Or there, but maybe he's saying this as spin to try and pull the wool over Liverpool fans' eyes, to be like, this is the reason I'm going, when in actual fact he's going because he wants to be around all the Latina chicas and Jude Bellingham.
I mean, he is single.
Yeah, good looking lad as well. We do this a lot. Anyway, but I can see it from a Liverpool's perspective. He knows how long his contract is. If he wants to stay, he can stay. If he doesn't want to stay, that's fine. He can sign an extension and Real Madrid will pay upwards of 80, 100 million for him to get the club some money. That being said, Liverpool don't need the money, really. No. He's a £150 million profit potentially. Let's say he's a £150 million player. Let's just... That, no one's going to say that's not enough. There's probably too much of anything.
Yeah, no, and they could use that for obviously FFP and that.
From that perspective, I can see it upsetting people. I wouldn't personally call him a rat for it.
No, I think that's just... Why are you digging into him? Like, about it? Realistically, Liverpool know his contract is up, as well as he knows his contract is up.
It's not like it's all of a sudden like, fuck. It's not like Football Manager you're playing and goes, all these players' contracts are up.
Yeah, exactly. They know. They all know. He knows, they know. There is nothing stopping them from approaching him to offer him something higher.
Well, they have. And Trent's turned it down in the past.
Okay.
Fair. So that's where I think a lot of it comes from.
Has turned it down. I don't see them calling him a rat.
I don't know if Salah's has been turned down or the talks have broken down because there's a discrepancy, which is what... It's basically the same thing.
It's basically, I was going to say, Salah is not happy with what they've offered him.
Yeah.
In the past. He's turned it down.
It's different though. Salah is very different because Trent is a homegrown talent. He is a Scouser through and through.
Right, yeah. Fair.
He is essentially the embodiment of Gerrard in his current team.
Yeah.
Right? He was an ex-captain after Van Dijk. He would have been.
Yeah.
Let's not get twisted. Actually, I saw something on Twitter and it reminded me of it. So Bastian Schweinsteiger, when he was at Bayern Munich, got to the end of his contract and for all intents and purposes, it looked like he was going to sign for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
There was no announcement then. I think his last game, he took a mic onto the pitch and announced he was staying.
Okay.
So like Leonardo DiCaprio in I ain't fucking leaving, like that.
Yeah.
How powerful would that be if Trent was to do that? That'd be up there with like Delia Smith. Do you remember? Where are you?
Let's be having ya. I feel like that's exactly what it'd be like. Like you'd have the same memes and everything made of it. Is that?
Where are you?
I mean, that's pretty good actually. Like Trent is obviously, like you say, a homegrown talent, and to Liverpool fans that would probably mean a lot more.
It probably hurts. I think it hurts. It's probably the underlining feeling here.
Yeah,
it becomes hatred very quickly because it's such an emotional game.
Yeah,
he doesn't care if he hurts a fan, like emotionally, does he? Like, let's be honest, he's lying in his pockets. None of them do. Like, so when you think a player's invested in the club They're 90% of the time they're just not.
They're invested in how much
they're invested in themselves. Exactly. Like it goes in tandem. But yeah, there's my question to you. Does everyone feel the same about Trent? And out of the three, Salah, Van Dijk and Trent, who is the most important to keep? Because I don't think you can lose all three.
No, I think it becomes too much of a challenge.
It's a disaster.
Yeah, to try and recover from that.
So just throw a couple of names up that are linked to replace these players. So say all three go. Mm-hmm. So Mass's off the wage bill, great. Massive experience gone.
Yeah.
That's the core of their team.
Massive amount
pretty
of
much
goals gone.
Yeah. Alexander Isak to come in for 150 million. Yeah. Covers the goals, not in the same position as Mo Salah, so you'd have to shift your tactic. But I think over a season, I think you could maybe cover up that hole with Isak. Mm-hmm. The goal output, not the positional play, because he doesn't play out there, but obviously other players
find somebody who is in that to help.
Yeah, Van Dijk, Mark Guehi is the name that keeps coming up. Crystal Palace, only 24 years old. I thought he was older than that.
I thought he was older than that. I feel like he's been around for ages.
Yeah, so maybe he's 25 now. Maybe he's a year old, but anyway. I can see that being a decent signing. Is he going to reach the levels of Van Dijk? Probably not. But realistically, the levels Van Dijk's shown are unscalable for 99% of professional centre-backs.
Absolutely, yeah. You would need to build someone up from a very young age to get to those sort of...
Or buy someone already there.
Yeah.
But there's a couple names there that would help fill the void, but that being said, are you going to get both of them? And if I'm Palace and I'm Newcastle, that number's going up. Because you just lost two players. You need these players. We don't need to sell.
Supply and demand.
Exactly. So
I couldn't see Isak going there.
I think he's going to go Liverpool. If he goes to Liverpool or Arsenal, they win the league next year. If he stays at Newcastle, it's a wide open title.
Yeah. I think Liverpool, if they can't find any sort of... I mean, not even... Like, you need to really replace the... goals conceded as well as goals scored. Mm-hmm. Like that is what you're going to have to do. The right back situation potentially they could cover because they've got some good talent.
Yeah, I like what's his name, Bradley. I like Conor Bradley. I think you need to keep one because losing all three, it becomes a crisis.
Yeah, I mean it's and it all falls on Arnie then, doesn't it?
Like, yeah. So do you think that would be my last question on this, and then we'll move on to the next one? It could be too much for Arnie. Do you think it'd be too much if he loses all three?
Well, I mean,
or is he ready for that level of the job? Like we've already seen potential mistakes in crucial moments from him.
The problem that I think
games
that I think we've got now. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a great manager. I'm not saying he's not a good manager. But from what we've seen so far, has he just been more lucky at the fact that he's had all of Klopp's hard work? And just been able to carry that on with very little adjustment, really.
I'll be careful throwing the word lucky around.
Yeah, I know.
So I know what you mean, but it's hard to find a right word.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people get butthurt because they assume that I'm just saying that all of Liverpool's success.
Luck,
yeah, I'm not saying that.
But everything's lined up so quickly. Yeah, it's an element of luck.
He has been able to grow Klopp's.
Seamlessly. He's taken the mantle without deviating from the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it does become a fact of when the Klopp team that is there is not there, has he had enough time, does he have enough managerial experience in the Premier League then to rebuild this team to the same successes?
It'd be interesting to see. The summer's going to be massive for a few clubs.
Oh, absolutely.
And players as well.
A few clubs and players need it.
Speaking of that, we'll move on to the next one.
Go on.
Jack Grealish.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going with that.
Time to move on.
Absolutely. He's not...
Out of the England squad. City have been poor all season and he can't get a look in regularly.
No.
He's been poor.
I think he's fallen out with Pep at some point and it's just never really recovered. He's never been as good as he was at Villa.
Well, I heard someone on TalkSport the other day and they were talking about what we've alluded to and so many other podcasts, not just us, like it's not exclusively us, and loads of people think the same, in that so many players like Jack Grealish have been sapped of their creativity and individuality is the word rather, by being under Pep.
Yep.
Some thrive, some don't. Like that's the
thing, isn't it? Like,
will he get it back though? Like, can he go back? Because you see it before. Like, you see players at their peak and they drop off and never get back to it.
Yeah. I think, he's not that old though.
He should be in his peak like now.
Absolutely, but I think he needs game time, and he's not getting that here. So
No, 100%.
he needs to get a move, and it's kind of like the Rashford situation.
Yeah.
Like Rashford was not getting any better at United. Yep. He got very comfortable there, and now he's gone to a place where he probably isn't as comfortable.
Rot breeds rot.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Man City's rotting, but sitting on the subs bench in a team that's falling is. And then Manchester United are pretty rotten at the minute.
Yeah.
Like, without, that isn't meaning to be a dick, they are.
No. And I think a lot of United fans will agree with that.
So, who'd be a good fit for Grealish? Because I don't think he gets back in that Villa team.
No, I don't think he'd go back to Villa either.
He's a Villa fan.
Well, yeah, and I get that, but I just don't. I think he's done that. Like, he's been there, he's done it, and I just think that he'd go. I don't think there's any sort of going back. Forest? See him get into a Forest team?
Yeah, he'd get into the Forest team, but
you don't feel like that's a good suit for him?
Actually, I don't know if he would get in. I don't know if he'd go. Like, their wingers have blistering pace. Jack Grealish doesn't. Because they have Elanga and Hudson-Odoi.
Maybe
are you really starting Jack Grealish over them two? Currently?
Yeah.
Not the Jack Grealish of 2-3 years ago. No, currently, you're not.
The Villa Grealish should start in there all day. But
see, I was thinking more maybe Spurs. That left wing's going to be open because Son's has dropped off a bit this year in terms of goals output.
Yeah.
They do struggle for goals. Richarlison looks to be off. I think he could be a good fit at Spurs if he can fit into that system.
I think if you could find a coach that can get back to his Villa ways, I could see him going.
But the problem was that Dean Smith at Villa, that got the best out of him, literally said, just go and enjoy it. Do what you want. You're not going to get that.
No.
Unless you drop right down the Premier League.
Yeah.
Even in like a Brentford team, it's systematic. It's a system-based team. Every piece or player has a role. So you no longer have the freedom to just do whatever you want.
Which is what
Jack Grealish thrives in.
Yeah, he needs it.
And he's not going to, even if he does get back close to his best, it's going to take a period of adjustment to get there. Maybe so how long are fans and players going to put up with him not being there?
Maybe a loan to a newly promoted side.
So he's above that though, isn't he? Like, genuinely, I asked this question and I'm not meaning to shit on every team you're saying, but I can't see it. I don't see him fitting in any of these clubs.
No, but I mean, Burnley.
Even like Bournemouth, would he get in? I don't think they're a high energy team. He's not a high energy player.
Well, West Ham, would you guys take him?
We have wingers galore.
Yeah, it's true.
Somerville, Bowen, Kudus. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
But it's just where would he slot in? Maybe it's time for a positional change.
Or number 10, maybe.
Yeah. If he wants that free role, he needs that, really, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He needs that sort of cam role where he just plays wherever he wants.
It's a strange one, though, because Grealish, a couple of years ago, we were talking about getting into any team.
Yeah.
He actually could do very well at Liverpool. In a slot team.
Yeah, but where? You going to play him over
Anywhere
Diaz?
Across the free.
What, are you going to play him over Diaz?
Diaz is so up and down for me.
Yeah, I mean, he is. But then you've got Jota
as well. I think Jota and Nunes might be gone in the summer.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Well, I mean, Nunes, good riddance.
But I potentially there. Arsenal on the left side. Martinelli.
Yeah, that's true, actually. And he'd be able to carry the ball because, I mean, Arteta is a bit more of a creative
Saka has the freedom to do stuff that he wants to do. So if you
had that on both sides,
potentially that could be a good move for him.
Yeah.
Would City do it though? But that's a question for you guys. Jack Grealish, where's he going? Where does he go?
He needs to go. It's just about where he goes.
Right, on to the underwhelming international week. Snooze fest galore. Let's talk to Thomas Tuchel's biggest fan and Jordan Henderson super fan. Nick, who hasn't got a problem with this squad.
I didn't have a problem with the squad. Do you know what I did like, though, is the fact that although we are 2-2, I genuinely believe Thomas Tuchel has come away from those games thinking, right, this is what we'll need to change before the World Cup.
I like that he changed the teams.
Yeah, I think he...
And I liked that he left our best players on.
He gave the ones that need minutes.
Like he left Kane on both games and Bellingham on both games.
Yeah.
Bellingham should have got sent off against Latvia.
Yeah,
when does it become a problem? Because he's 21 years old, and we talk about his passion in a positive light.
But when is his passion not passion?
Yeah, he's going to get... This is me predicting the future, he's going to go the same way as what Beckham did against Simeone, Rooney did against Ronaldo, and getting sent off in a crucial game for England and the country hating him for a period of time.
And then he comes back and scores a blinding free kick, and then...
Well, I don't think he's as good as those two players.
No.
To have the ability to carry the team like what's expected of him. Because for all the stick I give Jude Bellingham, you need to put it into perspective. He is an elite footballer.
Yeah.
But, and here's a big but, he is not rubbing toes or knees, whatever the phrase is, with the greats. He just isn't.
Yeah.
He has mastered...
His shoulders, by the way.
Is it? Rubbing shoulders. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Toes. Mine's better. He has mastered the ability to look busy and make it look like you're involved in everything positive in the game.
I can't.
Conor Gallagher does exactly the same thing, runs about loads, and people think he's this great footballer for a period of time. Now, it is credit to him because he can do it, and he can do it to a high level. But that doesn't make him top tier.
Yeah.
No, I just said he is elite, so I can't say he's not elite in the same phrase.
No, absolutely.
But anyway, this isn't a Jude Bellingham show. I don't want to talk about him specifically.
But his discipline does need to be something that needs to be looked at before the World Cup. He's got a little bit of growing up to do.
He's got a lot of growing up to do.
I mean, he is still 21. He is...
It's every other week we hear about him having rows with referees, getting booked, getting sent off, disciplinary issues. And it's like, you're at the biggest club in the world, centre stage, and that hasn't affected your mentality and over eagerness to be boisterous or loud or whatever. Rambunctious, is that the word?
Rambunctious, yeah.
I don't know what helps him, what calms him down.
I think we could actually make a massive impact on that.
Not me and you?
Not just
I don't
us.
think he cares, mate.
Not us. I think the English press and fans...
That's not going to happen, though, because the English press will do what they've done to all English stars over the years and jump on the bandwagon as soon as it starts going Pete Tong.
Yeah. But this
as soon as he does anything wrong that affects our country, our national team, it's curtains.
Yeah.
He needs to sort out his disciplinary issues.
But I also think that us bigging him up all the time has made him do that. His ego is massive, and it's our fault.
I don't think it's an ego thing. I think he's always been
potentially. But you think this helps?
No, of course not.
I'll stop going, you're the best player in the world. He needs to listen to you a bit more, digging him out all the time.
It isn't just me. There are certain fan groups of not liking Bellingham, which I'm definitely on board with. I don't not like him. I don't want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Nick, just do me a favour. Before everyone jumps on the bandwagon, I'm fully up for a discussion with anyone about this. Watch him and then tell me what he does that's as good as Modric at his peak, De Bruyne at his peak, Kroos at his peak. All these unbelievable centre, even Gerrard at his peak. Tell me what Jude Bellingham does that's better or equal to those guys.
He has moments. Yep. I just don't think he's the complete product, and his discipline is something definitely that needs to be worked on. Maybe Tuchel can help.
Maybe. One thing I did like about the Latvia game is Eze. I'm a massive fan of Eze.
Yeah, and
he scored. Shame he had to come on for Bowen, and Bowen didn't really do much.
Yeah.
But I'm not delusional. Bowen is a squad player. He's not going to start for England. No. I think Eze should. I can't say I watched every minute of the second game. I was watching the Baller League.
Was like the YouTube 6-a-side thing?
Yeah. It was like, wait, do you remember when you could play like different ruled games, like different rules? It was a bit like that.
Well, like futsal?
No, it was normal football. There was like offsides from a certain point, but last 2 minutes of each half, there was not a wild card. It was something like a wild card where a spinner would come up and it would land on something, and that was the rules they had to play for the next 2 minutes. Like, goals count as 2, 3v3, 1v1.
It's like FIFA rules.
Yeah, it was.
FIFA 11 or
it was good to see the different dynamics working. It's just the fact that there weren't any professional football. There was a few lower league and retired players, which is good. But I just didn't know who half of them were. We wouldn't be good enough, mate. And I'm not fit enough, so you're not fit enough either. Honestly, mate, he's a big 6-a-side bitch, like big.
So,
but it was quite good. But anyway, we're not talking about that.
I'd be on camera.
Reece James's free kick was unreal.
That was unreal.
So well done to him. But snooze fest, mate. I was bored.
Yeah.
I was bored.
It was nice to see Reece James score a goal.
Yeah. And what I wanted to talk about quickly was the under-21 team. So they played Portugal and lost, I think, to France, I think. So it was 5-3 to France and then beat Portugal 3-2 or 3-1, something I can't remember.
Jesus, we need better defenders in our under-21s.
Pardon?
We need better defenders in our under-21s.
But then saying that, so I've got a couple of the names that I think are ready to make the step up to the first team that I'd want to see bedded into the squad. And this is why I was frustrated looking at the squad, because there's goalkeepers, but I'm not going to talk about goalkeepers because there's a plethora of good English goalkeepers, and let's be honest, it's not very exciting. But defenders, you got Jared Brantwaite at Everton, linked with everyone. I don't know if he's ready for the first team just yet.
No,
but if you're looking at players that are still getting call-ups, like who started? You had Ezri Konsa and Dan Burn.
Yeah,
Dan Burn, great. He's been playing left back. So why are you playing him centre back? He is a centre back, but there's
he's 6'7".
Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's got a goal and already had a full team debut.
Yeah.
Plays obviously for Southampton. He'll get a Premier League move when they go down. I'd actually like to see him at West Ham. Be a good signing. Rico Lewis, Man City. Again, I don't know whether he is the real product or if it's just a bit of a facade because he's at Man City.
Yeah.
He has ability, don't get me wrong, but how has Lewis Skelly come out of nowhere and superseded him so quickly?
Yeah.
They played both of those games and looked very good in both of those games. When I've seen Rico Lewis play for England, he looks irrational.
Yeah, he doesn't always make the right choices, does he?
And then in midfield is where there's a load of players here that I'm excited for. So you got Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, phenomenal season. Joe Bellingham, who's actually putting up trees at Sunderland at the minute, doing very well. Linked to a move to the Premier League next year, so I'd be interested to see how that goes. The only problem is he's heavily linked with United and Tottenham. I don't think either of those clubs will be right for him. Then you got Jamie Gittins, who's at Dortmund, who you've mentioned before, the winger.
Yeah.
Archie Gray at Tottenham, surprised that he didn't even call up, even though Tottenham haven't had a good season. He's been out of position, playing centre back and right back when he's a centre midfielder for him. Yeah, regularly, and he's done well. So Archie Gray's definitely one to make a step up soon.
I could see it. Could I see it? I mean, I don't see it this side of the World Cup. I don't think
the funny thing is we have players like Jordan Henderson being called up. Archie Gray plays in that 6 role.
I don't think Henderson gets called up for the World Cup.
No, he doesn't. But then this is my point. You've wasted an opportunity then to bring in a young player who plays in the position you're playing Jordan Henderson in.
Although we had the under-21s playing, didn't we?
Yeah, same time.
So Portugal. I wonder if that maybe factored into it.
It shouldn't, but it might do. I don't know. Then you got Jack Hinchelwood at Brighton, been in and around the Premier League now for 2 years. Yeah, right back centre mid, very good, tidy on the ball. Alex Scott of Bournemouth, he's in and out of the squad from Guernsey. Okay, just thought I'd throw that in there. Very good player.
How do you know that?
Football Manager or FIFA?
Oh right,
I can't remember. Adam Wharton, who obviously went to the Euros. Yeah. Missed a large part of the season with an injury, but another player that should have been called up instead of Henderson. But I understand that one because he's lacked minutes, but he's looked very good since he's been back. Then onto the forward line, you've got Liam Delap. Yeah. Harvey Elliott. Amari Hutchinson. James McAtee. Ethan Nwaneri. Jaden Filogini and Jay Stansfield. Now, Jay Stansfield's at Birmingham in League One, scoring goals for fun.
But I think that takes into a big factor. League One.
But look, if I don't know if anyone noticed, but out of those forwards, there's only one centre forward. That's Liam Delap. The rest are wingers. Yeah. Jay Stansfield actually is a bit of a centre forward, but I think he can play out wide as well. So that's interesting.
Where come from?
Yeah, like we've got Harry Kane.
What happens when
and no young? We got no youth. Like Ollie Watkins obviously can play there.
Ivan Toney
does. Ivan Toney's outscoring all of the English strikers apart from Harry Kane this year. Yeah, but and he's nowhere near it. Saudi. So yeah, but
there you go.
I picked 3 that I want to see in the England team.
Right. Yeah.
I've got Ethan Nwaneri.
Absolutely.
I think he's ready. The only question mark is should he be getting more minutes at Arsenal or is it too soon? Mm-hmm. Next one, Harvey Elliott. I need. I said this.
Like Harvey,
I do like Harvey Elliott. He needs to get out of Liverpool, or he needs to be trusted. But fundamentally, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch all start ahead of him.
Yeah,
he can play on the right wing, so it'll be interesting to see next season
if Salah does go.
If Salah goes and he moves Elliott out there. England. And the last one, a bit of maybe a shock one, is Jadon Philogene.
Okay.
Just made his move back to Ipswich after, I believe he was on loan there last year. Or he's on loan. No, he's on loan at Hull last year.
Yeah.
Signed back for Villa, struggled to get into the team, and then has gone back to Ipswich. Player that possesses massive amount of pace. And he reminds me of, do you remember Yannick Bolasie?
Yeah.
Just that he'd do these frugal things that were just, you'd see down a five-a-side pitch.
Yeah.
And although...
confidence.
Yeah. Although I'm yet to see him do anything like that in the Premier League, he does strike me as that raw kind of talent that just needs to be harnessed a little bit, and then, right, you're ready to go. And I do think the McKenna at Ipswich will get the best out of him. So I'd actually like to see him stay at Ipswich next year, even if they go down, have another season in the Championship, and then make the move, rather than what he'll probably do, which is jump ship in the summer when they get relegated to another Premier League team, probably a team that's just come up.
Yeah,
and then fall into the same sort of free fall cycle that the likes of Brewster, Ryan Brewster.
That's not anyone who I was thinking of.
Okay.
I don't know who I was thinking of, but it wasn't that.
Anything to add on England under 21s?
Not for me, really.
Who do you guys think's ready to step up from the under 21 scene or outside? Hudson-Odoi, I don't know why wasn't in the squad actually. I wanted to give him a quick mention. He's had a very good season.
Yeah.
I would have taken him over Phil Foden. I probably would have taken him over Rashford.
Did we take Phil Foden?
Yeah, he started the first game and came on the second.
Did he?
Yeah.
Didn't even notice. I mean, I'd like to see Jared Brownthwaite up there.
We need to bet in a decent centre back because John Stones is still our best centre back and he's not playing for City regularly.
I don't know, I quite like Dan Burn.
He's 32 though.
Yeah, I get that. He won't. He's not longevity wise. Won't work. But
unfortunately, he's not Chiellini playing until he's 39.
But he can header a ball.
He can header a ball,
and
he also looks like he can have a ruck as well.
Yeah, I mean 6'7" as well. He's taller than most goalkeepers, which is kind of what you want. It's like having Pete Crouch back, isn't it? True. But in centre back,
Pete Crouch was 6'7" as well.
Exactly.
Isn't it funny? Like you have people are taller, then you just get like 6'6", 6'7". Then I've never heard of anyone who's 6'8". But I can name you three there, 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah. Maybe we're just not allowed to grow that big.
How tall Shaq?
Oh, he's like 8 foot. He's 7'1".
Fuck it, no, he's massive.
His hands are massive as well. I went to
pick me up with them.
I went to a basketball shop in New York. And when you go there, it's like a semi kind of museum as well. And you can put your hands.
What?
It's a shop.
Semi?
It's a shop, but it's got like memorabilia in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you can put your hands in, like, basketball players.
What? Finish that sentence.
In their hand moulds.
Okay, cool.
So, like, they've moulded their hands onto, like, a basketball and you can put your hands in.
It's like screen, isn't it?
And, like, I put my hands in and I'm like, I've got really womanly hands.
Yeah, the most emasculating thing ever. But that's all we wrapped up for England.
Yeah.
Put that away.
That's international done.
Done for the season as well. Fuck. Bye-bye. What was it I was going to talk about? Chelsea's Stadium Battle. You heard about this?
No, I haven't actually, because I saw you talk about this and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So Todd Bowley has proposed a multi-sport super stadium at Earls Court.
Like Wembley?
Yes.
Like where you can play NFL
Yeah. So
rugby.
Wembley, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London Stadium, they all multi-purpose. Yeah.
We used to have Saracens rugby there.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose, mate.
Yeah, true.
No, I'm just saying.
But here is the dilemma that Chelsea are facing. It might be a good dilemma, so if any Chelsea fans, let us know your thoughts. Clear Lake Capital, the co-owner consortium with Todd Bowley, prefer a redevelopment of Stamford Bridge.
Okay.
So this could lead to another ownership shake-up. Because I think Todd Bowley owns 49% and Clear Lake own 51%.
So they own the controlling.
Or they both own 49% and there's a third party that owns the medium.
Yeah.
So what this basically means is that you've got your mum and dad fighting.
Yeah.
So there's two questions there for Chelsea fans. A new stadium or redevelopment. Now we've seen what Man United are planning to do with their new stadium, knock Old Trafford down and build it, and it's caused uproar. Yeah. What do you think for the Chelsea one? Not, I won't talk about that because we missed the. What would you say?
I think as a football fan, I don't understand how Chelsea fans are even split by this, because I would have thought that all Chelsea fans, old and new, would want to keep Stamford Bridge 100%. Because it's sentimental. Yep. But no one wants that.
I couldn't agree more. It's your heritage. It's your club heritage. Like we've lost all. We're losing all.
Goodison Park, White Hart Lane. What was yours?
Upton Park.
Highbury.
Old Trafford now. Like we're losing all the
things that make
history behind it. Like all singing and dancing stadium's great. Like Everton Stadium looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tottenham Stadium is phenomenal.
London Stadium looks amazing.
Yeah, but we rent it. We're rent boys. That doesn't count.
Don't say that.
But you're missing everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this would pass in different countries for a top team to knock down their stadium and rebuild a completely new one, unless it was in the exact same space.
I mean, if they did that, I could see it being okay. Like I could see that.
It would take twice as long, wouldn't it? Like,
it would take twice as long, and I get that. But at the same time, this is for your club, isn't it? Like
I think it'd be a mistake because Stamford Bridge is obviously in the heart of
London, of Chelsea, London.
Of West London. Yeah, so that where it is perfect. It's got nostalgia. Yes, it's a shithole, but I actually really like Stamford Bridge. I played there when I was a kid, and it was unreal.
It's nice. I mean, I've been to a couple of the soccer aids there as well.
Yeah,
and it's just it's a nice atmosphere.
You see, Angry Ginge'S is playing soccer aid this year.
Is he?
Yeah, mate, that geezer's. He played a game in Qatar, played in front of 90,000 at Wembley, and now he's playing soccer aid.
Mate,
from fucking streaming.
Someone has got to get me onto one of these things. I'm running out of time.
Us.
Yeah,
don't be selfish.
Sorry, us.
Me and Mike. Just so you know.
Yeah.
We come as a package. Like
absolutely.
I would never talk to you again. Ever.
I'd drag you down there. They'd have to let us both in.
Yeah, you'd shave your head, and then we could both play. No.
Well, hang on. Why do I have to shave my head?
I can't grow hair.
I'll take you to Turkey first.
Yeah, all right, Turkey.
Yeah.
But on to the real stuff. What do Chelsea fans think? Like, what would you be open to a completely new stadium away from Stamford Bridge, or
is the nostalgia? Is the sentimental side of it too much?
New Premier League transfer window changes. You heard about this?
No.
New proposal to close the summer transfer window 2 days before the season starts. So it's shut like the 2nd or 3rd of August or something.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
I do, because otherwise that first week of the season you're never sure. Like there's always still talks about things, and it brings unsettlement into the teams.
It's especially for smaller clubs who hold on to their assets as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then the season starts, you're like, great, we still got them, and then
they go.
Yeah, they've gone. So, I don't know how far down the pipeline that is or where we are in terms of talks for it, but I'd definitely be open to that.
I'd be open to that, yeah.
There was a viral moment. I don't know if it was viral or not, but I don't actually know what classifies as viral, to be honest.
It's like 1 million views on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well, Bournemouth's Dean Huijsen got asked. He got called out on Twitter for saying he looks like he's stoned all the time because he got sleepy eyes. Okay. And he's basically responded saying no, I'm a professional footballer. We're not allowed to. I have these eyes because of my mum. She has these eyes too. Basically, in a nutshell, just basically said his mum looks like she got slanty eyes.
Basically, really
he's Spanish, so it might be broken English as well. I'm not too sure.
I'm saying if he wasn't a professional footballer, he'd be smoking weed. Just saying.
Yeah, I think most of them would.
Yeah.
Huijsen, by the way, is linked with Real Madrid.
Oh really?
19. Only signed for Bournemouth this year. 15 million from Juventus. Very, very good defender. And I could definitely see that happening.
Going to Juventus, you say?
No, he came from Juventus. Now linked with Real Madrid. Juventus let him go for 15 mil.
Cannabis easier to get in Spain.
Yep, probably. Football Twitter is a weird and phenomenal place. But what's the weirdest thing you've seen on Football Twitter? Joey Barton got found convicted of beating up his wife in 2021.
Good.
Today.
Send him down.
I don't think he's been arrested, but yeah, beat her up.
Yeah. Football tweet will probably be when I saw the announcement that Mia Khalifa was a Watford fan.
Oh, is she? Who's Mia Khalifa?
I don't know. Some woman, isn't it? But she's she was
moving on.
She was in a Watford shirt.
Oh, surprised to see her in a shirt. To be fair,
so mine. Worst thing I've ever watched.
So what I wanted to do is like, at what moment did you realise you're not going to be a professional footballer? Because all kids get into football because you watch it or you hear it or you play it. Like this is wicked.
You want that stardom sort of thing.
Yeah. What was the moment you realised? Because I know mine because I was thinking about this driving home from work this morning.
Yeah. I mean, you've been a lot closer than I have. Like I've never done academies and things like that. I've never.
Oh, you say closer, but I'd never felt further away than when I was in academies.
Oh, really?
Because, so go back to my question. So I remember it categorically, and I was 10, so I know I was young, and I probably didn't realise it then, but now looking back, I do. So I played for my Sunday league team. I played from about 5, 6. I played a year up, and then we created a team when I was about 8, and went back down to my age. And I played in defence, and then we went to 11-a-side because obviously it was not this 9-a-side, 7-a-side ball. It was 7-a-side straight to 11-a-side. There was no 9-a-side bullshit. And this is when scouting was actual scouting, and people
actually went to
people got paid as a full-time job. It wasn't like now where they have open trials where they get everyone in.
You
and
pay for it.
Yeah. And this is open trials, so they're doing free now as well. We could go to trials. There's actually I get emails all the time saying,
"Should we just go? Should we just go to rock up?"
See 12-year-olds rainbow flicking us. No thanks.
I'll punch 12-year-olds rainbow flicking them.
But yeah, so I remember I told you I got scouted this game that we lost and I missed the penalty.
Yeah.
So I went. So they invited. So the guy was speaking to my parents. My mum or my dad was like, "Do you want to go and have some trials at Chelsea?" And I was like, "Okay, can I still play for my Sunday team?" And he was like, "Not whilst you're trialing, no." And I was like, "Oh, I don't really want to do it then. Well, I get to play games, so I wanted to just play." I'd never trained before because back in the day, you
didn't really train. You went to train and play games. Probably.
Yeah, you played football and then went to a game on a Sunday and played football. That was it.
Yeah.
So when I remember the first time I turned up training, and I was never shy. I was never. It was even before the point where confidence was even a thing in football. Like it was
just
before,
played football.
Yeah, it was before the point where you start digging other kids out because they have bad touches. It was before all of that. So I'd never experienced anything like that.
The ball is still your main focus at that age.
Yeah. And I remember turning up to this, and we walked over to this pristine carpet of a training pitch, and one was like, "I'll go on," and I was like, "I don't want to." And she was like, "No, just go on and try. I'll be here the whole time." And I was like, "Okay." I went over, and the guy waved me over. I remember the face of the guy who was doing the training because he'd done. Do you remember Football Icon? It was like a Sky One.
Oh, what
when I had loads of boys that were competing for a contract at Chelsea when Mourinho was there.
Yeah.
One of the coaches was who was coaching the under 11s then, so he was there. He was part of the coaching team. So I remember his face. I can't remember his name now. Called me over and he was like, "We're doing this. Just jump in the back of the queue." And I was like, "I don't."
What we're doing?
Yeah, there was like one ball and like 15 kids, and we were doing like hops and skips. And I was there and I was watching. I was like, I just zoned out, and they called my name like 4 times whilst I was like picking my nose or something. And it was at that point, now looking back, I was just like, this isn't for me. I've never enjoyed the competitive nature of elite football.
Yeah,
I've always struggled in the bigger games, and it's not because. Now and it got to a point that it became a confidence thing, but back then it was never that.
No,
it was more. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the pressure.
You like to be able to enjoy the game.
Yeah, football's about enjoying it, freedom and expression and
playing the game your way.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to do that. And this is what I've fallen victim to now, being a coach, is that you try and compartmentalize children
into.
To fit a playing style or to fit a role rather than just letting them play football.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get out of that.
Okay.
Yeah, when was yours?
I think mine's nowhere near as sort of exciting as yours, really. I think I played it's either year 6 or year 7, and I played a game, and I came on probably about 10 minutes in, because it's roll on, roll off like it normally is. And this was when I could still do a bit. So I ran, I scored a goal, I scored another goal, I got taken off at half time, and I never got put back on. And I walked away from that game and I thought to myself, why did I just put in all that effort? Because I mean, I obviously walked off with an ego because I'd scored twice.
Yeah.
So I walked off with this ego of like, I scored twice, and yet he's taking me off and putting shit people on. Lost my head. And then that was it. I never went back. I just never looked back at it. And as an adult now, I regret that a lot. But could I have gone any further with it? Probably not. But I felt like ever since then, I've always tried to chase the dream of getting back into it. Like I played like Saturday football a little while ago, and that was it. Like, but that was me thinking, well, I've got this now. Jamie Vardy could still do it. Why can't I? And it pains me to say it's because I'm nowhere near that level.
Yeah.
And that is painful.
I remember the first time I realised I wasn't good enough. That was a completely different story.
Oh, really?
So I just got released from Chelsea, and whilst I was trialling at Watford, I went on a school football trip to France.
All right.
And I played for my school team, because you were allowed to at the time, and we had a really good school team. And it was we went out to France, and we dominated this little tournament. And I got played right wing.
Okay.
And I used to be really fast. So I did it. It was fine. And I remember after the game, a couple of the coaches was talking to our PE teacher about obviously a couple of the players in my team, and as they walked past me, one of them said, "Oh, very good player, very good to me," and then they walked straight past me to one of the other players in my team, and I put his arm around him and like walked him off. And what happened was that he got trials for like Marseille or Lyon. I can't remember where we were. Wherever it was Nantes. So he got trials. Where? he might have been at Nantes, but no, it was in Nantes. But he got trials for this French team, and I don't know what came off the back of it, because he was like year 10, year 11 at that point. So and he was in the other half of the year, so I didn't see him that often anyway, and it was right at the end of the school year. So I don't even know if he played at a higher level. But at that point, I was just like, it isn't me.
So I'm a very good player, but not good enough.
And he'd never been in an academy. He'd never played at the levels that I had. Yeah. But yeah, I remember that, and that was humbling to say the least.
Yeah, I do that now though. Like I look at like younger kids coming to play for our team and stuff like that, and I'm like, these kids are so quick. Like playing against these really rapid kids is frustrating, because I'm like, I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to keep up with you, but now I can't.
Now it gives you the opportunity to use different parts of the game that you never would have before. Yeah.
So, which, on that, sorry to interrupt, is very much something that, because of being friends with you, I have probably done a lot more. Yeah. Like my hold-up play now is probably 10 times better than it's ever been before we ever played together. Yeah. Because obviously we've trained together and stuff like that, like separately. Yeah. And I think a lot of what we do builds up on the game that I'd never had to work on, because I could knock it and run. Like that was always me, knock it and run. Yeah, but and the funny thing is that the irony is that I was probably closer to your type of player when I was younger than what you'll ever think, because I'm not fast now. I don't run with the ball very often now. If I do this in short, it's more dribbling around people. Yeah. But I had to learn when I came back to playing after having Jamie and having like 10, 11 years out. I realised I didn't have any pace anymore. And so I had to learn, adapt your game very quickly, which is what you're at now, probably, where you're having to adapt it, even like a new role. But it's funny, like you can teach old dogs new tricks. Absolutely, and that is the motto for this episode. I think that's where we should leave them. Yeah, we will. Thank you very much, everyone, for returning or watching us for the first time. I hope you enjoyed this. It was something a little bit slightly different, a little bit more into our footballing lives as well, because I think we are still amateur footballers as well, and we are human. We are still people. Yeah. We love to all of our fans, to the ones that don't like us. I don't care. I care a little bit. All right, we care a little bit. No, but just to echo what Nick said, we appreciate all of you turning in and giving us your time. Yeah. And Mike loves a good debate. So I do, yeah. So hit me up about anything we've spoken about, and let me hear some of your moments of clarity around football. Yeah. I'd love to hear some. I'd love to hear other people's stories about when they realised that either they weren't going to be elite,
or when they realised they were better than what they thought, or
anything.
Let's hear some of both. Let's hear both ways. Like, I'd love to hear some of those stories. But on that, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with more Premier League stuff.
Absolutely.
And as the season comes to an end, we'll be doing more transfer roundups and talks. But peace, love, like and subscribe.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell. Peace.
Peace.